Today I'm watching Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction Season 1 Episode 3. This is part of a new series that I'm doing. If you've seen my previous episodes, you know that this is mostly going to be just sporadic throughout the month as I have time to add in more episodes. So let me know in the comments if you want to see this more often. I'm really enjoying the format of the show, this anthology style with 5 different stories each episode, and obviously some are real and some are not, and kind of this guessing game trying to figure out which ones are believable, and we're dealing with the supernatural as well, so you kind of have to limit some logical thinking, but also the host, James Brolin, is there to kind of put seeds of doubt in your mind as well, so it's very curious to see how many are accurate and how many are made up just for the show. Last episode I got 3 out of 5 correct, so I'm hoping to at least keep that and maybe get all of them right. That would be amazing. Some segments you're like, there's no way this can be true, and then of course it turns out to be true. So yeah, it's really interesting and reminds me of, Unsolved Mysteries or Ripley's Believe It or Not. But thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And if you want to have a say in what movies or TV shows I watch, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content.
Looking back, I wish we'd never played that night.
Did you bring it?
Of course. Have I ever forgotten?
Oh, I know, this is gonna go badly.
Victor? Who's Victor?
We probably should have been more frightened.
Yep, that usually is a chance. Yep, good call.
But who are you?
If pieces start moving on their own, probably a good idea to just stop.
Free me. How?
Pages are turning.
These girls have never seen a horror movie before? Come on.
It's just the wind. Let's go. Hands on.
It literally just said it wants you. Like, at what point is that not raising some red flags?
Die.
Come on! This has to be it. This has to be where you stop, please.
Started. That protects us.
Why? We made it up.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know, but do something.
I'm thinking it's fake so far, but we'll see. Oh, bye, Victor. That's gonna release something. That's probably not a great idea. Oh, God.
Oh, very funny, Jill.
Now for sure we are watching a comedy.
I was gonna say, you gonna watch a horror movie or no? Just let the Ouija board burn, I guess. Oh, God. I don't like where this is gonna go. Whoa! Ghost effect. Okay.
She's not with me.
Well, I was just in her room and she wasn't there. Her bed was made. It looked like she didn't even sleep there last night.
Oh, Brooke, where did you go? Oh, okay. Nope. Nope, don't like this. Run away now. Mm-mm.
Well, I don't think it's very funny. Where is she?
I don't think that was Brooke. Why?
With me.
Victor got her. Oh my God. I'm saying fake.
Do you know why? Because it's the last sandwich I'm ever going to serve you.
Now come on, Shelley, I can't see this.
Brad, turn off the TV.
I think Shelly's gonna leave you, bud.
Take a walk? Now why should I go outside when I can sit home and watch nature on TV?
I mean, he's got a point.
Reception.
Oh, good. You had me scared for a sec. I thought it was an emergency. You getting out of your chair and all.
Oh, the acting is so bad. Ugh. He's like saying pet names to the TV.
That's it. Brad, I'm leaving you. I am sick and tired.
Yeah, saw that coming. Oh my.
Brad, you hear me?
He loves his TV and he's not willing to compromise, so see you later, Shelly. Oh, God. Oh, he ruined his love. What? The shock from the TV brought him back? Come on. No. His love saved him. Oh my gosh, no way.
I'll be damned.
No way. I'm saying fake. I'm saying 10 out of 10 fake. Come on. What are the chances?
Best friend and the love of his life.
Just imagine if this guy had Netflix, the trouble he'd get into. Oh my god. In his Twizzlers. Oh.
Lewis out there, he's probably watching this show right now. And we can only hope for one thing, that he's a Nielsen household.
Ha for the ratings. Oh my god.
And until they do, I'm here if you need anything. Anything, I mean.
Oh my. Does he mean anything? Hmm?
As I looked down at the paper, I could sense Jonathan's presence. It was almost as if Jonathan was sending me a message.
What?
Definitely telling me to take $1,000 and buy 500 shares, and I couldn't help but think that someone was Jonathan.
He's giving her stock advice from beyond. Come on. Her last $1,000. She's unemployed. Broke.
Listen. I need you to do me a favor. 800, 900, 1,000.
He's like, that's my own money. Like, I was hoping you would just live off of it.
Come on, Patty, you had a little luck. I really don't think you should push it.
It was happening again. I could feel Jonathan sending me another hunch to play.
This guy lost all his money in stocks, and now he's suddenly a wizard from the other side.
If this keeps up, soon you're going to be able to buy that big house Jonathan was always promising you. Wouldn't that be wild?
Then Chris is moving in. Oh my. He's like, dang it, I was so close. The cell phone on his belt. Oh man.
I have my next hunch. Avco Mining.
I know better than to try to talk you out of it.
Buy me as much as I can afford, first thing in the morning.
Oh, she's going all in. Cheese and rice, maybe keep some of it. I mean, you never know, but okay.
Here's to us. It's been a long wait, but you're worth it.
I don't think he's talking about the stocks, if you know what I mean.
I want you to take all of my accounts, everything, checking, savings, all of it. Transfer it to Avco Mining.
I feel like that's a setup. Like, he knows his friend's moving in on his wife and is like, I'm gonna set you up, buddy.
I remembered how he loved to light candles late at night. And something compelled me to do the same.
Did Chris empty the accounts and it wasn't Jonathan? Oh no.
But why? All his investments were showing a profit.
And if he had sold them, he still would have kept the, like, had the money.
Steal? Chris?
Not the most subtle leap, but clearly Chris was stealing the money.
That day. Poor Chris. I had a hunch that would happen.
I'm gonna say that one's true. Yeah.
Time to get ready for ballet class.
Okay, Mom. Now, Sydney, I've got to go to dance class. You be good. I'll be back soon.
Last time there was one with a little kid, I thought it was false, but who knows?
I'm very sorry, Mrs. Kimball.
About what, Alice?
About your divorce.
And how does she know about the divorce?
Have I told you about making up stories?
Oh.
I'm not making it up. Sydney told me.
Oh, does Sydney know?
What is it, honey? Mommy's working.
Mommy, Miss Emery should check on Rebecca. She's really sick. She could die.
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
Times do I have to tell you?
Mommy, Miss
Listen to
Emery
the
has
kid.
check on Rebecca. It's really important. Sydney told me.
This imaginary friend's got taps into all kinds of things.
Listen, don't worry about it. Just call me when you're finished. Great.
You'd still go check, right? Like, you have to. Like, as soon as that thought, yeah.
With your stories.
But Mommy, they're all true. Sydney doesn't lie.
Alice, I don't want you to talk to Sydney anymore.
Well, the imaginary friend's never like that.
Rebecca was your best friend.
Aunt Doris is dead.
Oh my god. This is some dark messages this kid has.
Yes?
Sydney told me.
But how could Sydney know? Oh man.
I made this one especially for you.
I want to say this one's true as well.
I forbid Alice to ever play with Sydney again.
How are you gonna do that? How's that gonna happen?
Chris, I'll never leave you. I love you.
Tucking him safely in the drawer. Yep, okay. I'm curious to see where this is gonna go.
Events. Or is our story of the imaginary friend completely imaginary.
I hope I get 3 out of 5, at least this time. I don't know. I never know until they say.
Young, attractive, hopelessly in love. When they got married, it truly seemed to be a match made in heaven.
Oh my god. Cheese and rice. Oh my god, this took a turn.
You want to talk about big mistakes? We're a big mistake! If I ever see you again, it'll be too soon.
This guy, the overacting is out of control. Yeah, I want to see you again.
Stephen and Brenda went their separate ways and stopped all contact.
Probably for the best. They seem horrible.
Each had to endure the challenge of every couple that breaks up, learning how to date all over again.
This guy looks familiar, but he's just one of those faces.
Wow, this looks fantastic.
It really does. You've done a wonderful job, Barbara.
Brenda. Wine. What is that?
It's Pinot Noir.
Is he allergic to wine? What's happening?
Because the two of you were meant for each other. Stephen and Brenda, it's time to make up.
Oh my god, this is a very intense message.
I must be nuts.
She doesn't even live here.
And like Steve and Brenda are common names. Like, what are the chances? Especially in a city like LA, like a massive city. You'd be too curious to not go. Should just stay at home with her lean cuisine. I mean, these are your options. I'm gonna say this one's fake.
Brenda!
Steven! She's like, I'm so sorry I threw that vase at your head. Please forgive me.
Dedication.
No, I didn't even know you were living in LA. Steven!
Oh, my heart. I knew it had to be for somebody else.
Boy gets girl. But is it the right boy and the right girl? And just how many Stevens and Brendas were reunited that night?
Right? Like, come on. What are the chances? I'm saying that one's fake.
Radio waves have strange properties. They can become crossed in the atmosphere, even be received in people's dental work. Maybe this was
That's so bizarre.
been invented for your entertainment. Let's revisit them one by one and learn the true answers.
I said the first one was false.
So did you guess this story was a complete fraud?
Yes.
You guessed absolutely right.
Thank you. Take my point. Thank you, thank you.
And then there was the couch potato whose life was somehow saved by his beloved TV.
I said this one was fake too.
Could this story have really happened? Well, anything is possible, but not in this case. It's completely false.
Yes, first two, crushing it.
What's your opinion of the story about the widow who seemed to receive stock tips from her late husband?
I said this one was true.
Do you think that you've got this one figured out? Did the events take place? Yes.
Yes, 3 for 3. All right, here we
How
go.
about that story of the little girl and her special imaginary friend?
I said this was true.
Making up stories. I'm not making it up. Sydney told me.
Did you think this story was a stretch of the imagination?
No, I thought it was true.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But the events in this story did happen.
Yes, 4 out of 4.
It was about the divorced couple who were reunited by a strange radio announcement that some say was never broadcast.
False.
Listening to Ricky Strong. Our next dedication is for two lovebirds, Brenda and Stephen, who didn't give their love.
Either way, 4 out of 5 is still good, but 5 out of 5 would be great.
This is for you.
What's your judgment this time? Do you think a story like this could have happened? Well, it did.
Ah, dang it.
Judgment tonight. 3 of our plots were inspired by actual events, but the other 2 were totally false.
4 out of 5 is still pretty good. I'll take it. Only 1 wrong. So it's my first time watching Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction Season 1 Episode 3. I feel like this episode might have had the worst acting, and again, I don't mean that in a negative way. I understand these are probably actors who are trying to get their start, and I'm not expecting like big Hollywood A-list actors to be in these episodes, but this episode in particular, I feel like they struggled with the acting, and the overacting was a bit over the top. And I love cheesy movies and cheesy, TV shows, so it doesn't bother me, but it stuck out a little bit in this episode, and I managed to get 4 out of the 5 right, which is my best score so far. I got 3 out of 5 in the previous episode, so I feel like we're on track to get 5 out of 5 in the next episode. Here's hoping. But some episodes I feel like it's really easy to tell which ones are fake, and other ones you kind of go back and forth a lot. And as the show goes on, if you've said the first 2 were fake, you kind of have to even it out to say some are true, because from what I've seen so far, at least half, like at least 3 out of the 5 have been true. This one we had, 3 were true, 2 were false. Like it seems to be they play more into true out of the false. So you can't say they're all true, obviously, and you can't say they're all fake. So it's just trying to find that balance. And yeah, especially when you see some of them first, you're like, oh, I would have said that was false if I hadn't seen this one. You know what I mean? So it's definitely interesting to see where these stories are going to go. And obviously with them playing into the supernatural, like with the last one, with this song magically coming on the radio and, getting this message, but none of them sent it. And again, it's a big city, so there is like logical loopholes that you could say, somebody else sent that out, or it was a transmission from another town or something, but that they happened to move to the same, city and didn't know. But again, maybe that's something they had talked about before and it's just, coincidence. So yeah, it really lets your mind go into what you want to believe as coincidence, or if you think there's something, beyond that. And that was the only one I got wrong. I said it was false, but it was true. I felt like the girls at the first one with the Ouija board was too obvious. Again, there's like a trope that they're using. Same with what I thought with the monster in the closet, and then that turned out to be true. But this, it felt too scripted, similar to what we had with the grandpa who could, suddenly walk again. It felt like they were trying so hard to have this one girl, Brooke, really push the Ouija board, and like everybody else is uncomfortable, and she's like, no, we have to. And of course, she's the one that suddenly disappears, and you're like, okay, like, yeah, it felt too obvious. And that the board would somehow find its way back, from the fire to their table. So yeah, I was definitely suspicious of the validity of that one. The second one with the TV fan, obviously myself, loving TV and movies and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I can, this is something I also enjoy, but this guy took it to a whole new level. Obviously wasn't leaving the house, it sounded like. It was just focusing all his energy into watching TV shows, and his relationship falls apart and he has this, heart attack. But for him to be brought back from an electrical shock from the TV when they had already tried the defibrillator twice, again, I don't know what the voltage of a TV would be if it's a lot higher than a defibrillator, but still, like, that didn't seem possible. So I was just like, okay, yeah, again, it seemed too, like, clean cut, and, like, of course, the TV is the one thing that brings it back, and I was like, no, and of course, that turned out to be false as well. And the little girl, talking to this imaginary friend, I have seen a lot of shows where kids either have like past lives or something like that, or are able to talk and see things that adults can't see and somehow tap into that supernatural thing. So again, it obviously comes down to what you believe as a viewer and what you're gonna find credible. So I found that to be true, and it was. Again, I'm curious to look up these things after I've watched them and find out like who these actual people were. We know they changed the names and probably some of the details, but the fact that this little girl's imaginary friend was able to provide such intense information and accurate information, like moments before they happened, and that things nobody else knew, terrifying. We don't know how long she kept this imaginary friend for, but, her mom obviously wasn't happy that this friend was around, and was, a little bit scared, I think, too, as anybody would be, because how is she getting this information? And, is she clairvoyant? Like the host said, like, is this something she just can do but doesn't know how to explain it yet? And the stockbroker one turned out to be true as well, which was what I had predicted. Again, it's if you believe in supernatural and believe that people can, communicate from the other side and these signs, and, if he was able to steer her in the right direction and prove that, his friend had been stealing from him basically, and that's where all his money went, and she was able to pick the right investments at the right time and be able to make herself some money, was definitely interesting. We don't know how he died, but I'm guessing it would have been suspicious, because if his friend Chris, emptied his accounts shortly after he passed away, that would seem very suspicious. So yeah, and then it goes to his wife and is like hitting on her and stuff like that. So there was kind of those like human elements of drama involved, and everything was reminding her of her husband. I think the imaginary friend one and the stockbroker one were my favorite. The TV one I thought was kind of dumb. The Ouija board one I thought was kind of dumb as well. And then the last one I thought it was like, okay, maybe it could be true, and it was. I just thought it was false, but overall, I thought it was a decent episode. I like this, style, this anthology, and other than the acting kind of not being its best in this episode, that was kind of the only thing that took me out of it. Again, we don't have a ton of practical effects or special effects or anything, which is common, and I'm curious to see if they go into any other supernatural elements, or if it'll just be, ghost stories and things from the beyond, like beyond belief and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the series so far. But thank you so much for sharing and this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. If pieces start moving on their own, probably a good idea to just stop. He's like saying pet names to the TV. He's giving her stock advice from beyond. I feel like that's a setup. Like, he knows his friend's moving in on his wife. And how does she know about the divorce? This imaginary friend's got taps into all kinds of things. Should just stay at home with her lean cuisine.